I noticed on Facebook, sometimes it tells you on the right-hand side, it'll tell you which of your friends are online.
Yeah.
And I saw David Bellavia was online, so for shits and giggles, I sent him a text saying, "Hey, we're about to record if you want to call in." So
Fuck right on.
he might be calling in, so
That's
that'll
cool.
be cool. So it's just our 14th episode, I believe,
Holy shit.
of the GTFO podcast, which is pretty cool. I have a few things that I want to talk to you about, man.
Oh shit.
Oh
What's
yeah.
up with all the headroom on your camera?
Hold on, let me see.
Almost looking at the ceiling.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
There we
Hey, people.
go. Much better.
Yeah, it is better. Sorry, I didn't have the preview showing up, so
Oh.
I couldn't see what I look like. Few things that I would like to, at some point, that I want to point out that I would like to talk about before we're done today.
All right.
One, Stranger Things.
Haven't finished it yet.
Two, Mr. Robot.
Just watched the last episode.
Holy crap,
newest one.
dude. Okay. I want to do that first. There was
Okay.
something else. Oh, I want to say quick shout out to the people that have sponsored the podcast. We have some people click through.
Oh hell yeah.
We really appreciate it. We made like $9.
We're in the
off of-
business.
I know, dude. We're like rolling in it, man. So I'm about to quit my job and,
Oh shit.
yeah, I'm gonna do it. I just figured, it's
Why
only
not?
gonna get better. I already got $9. We've been doing this for a year. You do the math. You do the
$9 in
math.
a year.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
No, but it's cool. No, seriously though, I really appreciate it. It all accumulates, and there's equipment that we gotta buy and stuff that we gotta keep up. So we're really really grateful. And I just wanted to say, if for the one or two people that are going to be watching this, if you spread the word, we will talk about the things that are ordered. If that's what you like, send us a comment on Facebook or Twitter, and let us know what kind of stuff you like. I like to point out the cool things that people buy, and just to show people how anything helps the podcast. If you want to buy freaking laundry detergent, you buy it through Amazon, and Amazon throws us a couple of pennies, and that's it. It doesn't come out of your end; it comes out of Amazon's end. It doesn't hurt anybody, and it helps the podcast. Anyway, so we had that. So that's really really cool. I was really appreciating it. But I wanted to also give a shout out to Eric. That it's probably our number one fan of our podcast that probably listens to every
little
podcast. That I don't know if you heard, dude, their freaking apartment burned down.
Oh really?
You didn't hear about this?
No.
Oh, so apparently he lives in Missoula,
Right.
right by the university there, and some guy was barbecuing outside of their building. Building caught on fire. Their
Fuck.
freaking ceiling fell into their apartment. They lost just about everything. So anyway, I just want to give Kyle and Eric a shout out. We love them, and we're so glad that they're okay. And let
Were
us
they
know
home
if
when
we
this
can-
happened?
I think Kyle was, and Eric was on his way home from work.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and so anyway, I've been thinking about him, and like I said, he listens to the podcast on a regular basis, and I appreciate him. We talk. I was in Missoula, in Montana this past summer, and we got to talk about the podcast and how much he enjoys it. And he was telling me we had a conversation, you and I, Chad,
Oh, we
about Eric and Kyle and Stacy and who we would take, who we had our money on, who can
A
take
fight?
who on a fight. Yeah. And apparently Eric was listening to the podcast as he's working and he's doing this lawn, and he is cackling listening to the podcast because he was, dude, I've never laughed so hard. And he's like, I'm laughing for like a straight minute doing this, and then I realized people looking at me thinking that I'm I'm retarded or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But he's like, dude, that was just really really cool. So I really appreciate it. And if we could just if it's just something that we do and Eric gets something out of it, we can make him laugh, and
Yeah,
awesome.
worth it.
It's
I still got my
totally
money
worth
on Stacy.
it. That's what I told her. We started talking, and she looks at me. She's like, "What do you mean?" Like, what
I got all
we said,
pissed
"Oh,
off.
no. If you listen, my money was on you." I said between the two boys, but out of the
Of a three-way fight,
area,
Stacy's got him down.
I don't
Fucking
care.
Shorty ain't even gonna show up. He's just gonna sit this one out. He's
No,
like, fuck that.
He's too smart. He'll be like,
Yeah.
"No, I already know. I don't need
I
to
got
prove
cold beer
anything."
over here. I'll be waiting. Sitting in the corner.
Yeah, we had a good time this summer in Montana. We didn't do as much as we usually do. We usually go floating and do a bunch of cool things. We usually go haying, picking up
Oh, that's fun.
bales of hay. I actually enjoy it. Not as
What?
in, oh my God, I do it skipping. I enjoy I'm a weird type of person. I enjoy when I do something hard.
You love the physicality of it.
Yeah, when I'm doing it, I hate it.
Oh,
It
fuck
gets
yeah.
itchy, dude. Oh my God.
Dude.
This guy's like, again, Daryl, the world's biggest badass dude. It has a tank top, no gloves. He's grabbing two bales that weigh 70 pounds each, and he's like
Oh, yeah.
throwing them over like nothing.
One fuck not given.
Yeah, I'm there with a long sleeve shirt, Mexican style, like button up to here, and I get one little straw thing inside my shirt, and I'm like, oh God, dude, it sucks. But there's nothing better. There's nothing better than doing that for 3-4 hours, almost puking because you're so freaking hot. It's like
Oh, yeah.
105, and pounding that first ice cold beer after doing that.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing better. There's nothing better. And just for that, I'm a sucker for planning the things I do, as in David's online,
Woo.
as in planning my days. I go, oh, I'm going to do this, and that, and then I'm going to get to do this.
Right.
So I plan it. I'm going to do all this work, blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to go, there he is. Then we're going to go play. So anyway, here's our friend David de Bellavia. Okay, add to
Now
group.
it's back to normal size.
Okay, he's added to our call. David. Mr. Bellavia.
Let him get a headset on first. Man, jumping at the guy.
Hey, David. Are you there, bud?
Yeah, I am. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Now I
Oh,
can
loud and
totally
clear.
hear you. Loud and clear, man. How's it going, friend?
Dude, I'm in Anchorage, Alaska right now.
Oh, my God. See, I saw pictures that
so
you have
excited
posted.
on that.
I know.
And-
Dude, I love
and
that
you know,
place.
I've discovered that Anchorage is basically Seattle, Washington. It's like everyone here is from Seattle.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
if you ever see the Deadliest Catch and all that stuff, all those people are from Seattle. I actually ran into Phil, the guy that passed away some years back. I ran into him at Home Depot here in Snohomish. He's
Well, a
from,
bunch of them have their boats moored at the Seattle locks. That's where they come and resupply and everything.
right. Yeah, they do.
That's crazy to me. And there's so many reality shows being made in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's for
Yep.
real, man.
It's crazy. It really is. It is a beautiful spot, though. And, that Secretary Seward, man, are we red-faced? We want to apologize.
Oh, right?
It's funny because I was the tour guide was telling us in the Aleutian Islands were purchased for like $7.8 million at the end of the 1800s, and it's like we gave Russia like $8 million and got the Aleutian Islands, and it's like only a drunk Russian would make that deal,
Got
you
A lot
know.
of vodka.
And,
Because even $8 million back then was it was still like what is it, 20 million today?
Something like
oh,
that.
I mean,
at
it's-
least.
They acted like it was like so it was just like, all right, you want the Aleutians?
Yeah.
8 million. What do you think?
Yeah.
Make this happen.
We'll give you the illusion that this is actually a good deal.
Exactly.
Kind of like the Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess manifest destiny and bartering for land and people is sort of that's the American way.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my bucket lists to go up there and do some fishing, some salmon, and and go to just go wander around up there, man. But it's also so deadly. I was listening to a podcast of there's this lady, I believe she's in one of those surviving Alaska shows, and she lives by herself in the Arctic Circle.
Oh,
And
I love that woman. Yeah, she runs like the little gas hut there for all the
yes,
planes.
yes, and she got mauled by a freaking bear, man. And
Real life.
yep, dude, she was so she had seen a young bear kind of wandering around her camp, and what young bears do is like they test the boundaries to see what they can get away with. And
Just like kids.
she's been watching this guy, and she thought he was gone because he was, she hadn't seen him in a bit, and she went to get some water, and he freaking got the jump on her, and freaking mauled her, and freaking left her just about dead. And I swear to God, this is like if you ever see The Covenant, this is what
Revenant.
The Revenant, right? Covenant, different movie.
DiCaprio movie.
But he left her alone. She has a broken hip, broken legs. She's all chewed up. She crawls back into her cabin. Now she's, unquote, safe. And what she do? She grabs her freaking rifle, crawls back out, and wait for the guy to come back. Because she knew he would come back. But she said if it would have been an old bull, she would have been dead because he would just finish her up.
Right.
But
Wait, did you run into her at Home Depot too?
yes, actually, we had a conversation. She,
Over light.
she was
I mean,
putting.
this is the same woman that like sits on top of her hut and like shoots wolves for 4 months out of the year.
Oh yeah, she's.
Yeah,
It's
they're
no
rugged
joke.
people out there.
Yeah, it's no joke, man. It's like the real thing. That's like also like the guy from Into the Wild, that he goes up there. It's like I'm just gonna wander the wilds, and it's not even. He's like a mile from town. He was just a moron, and he ended up starving to death. Good
Really?
stuff. Yep, that's
I just got done hiking through Denali, right? This big reserve,
Mhm.
and they're like, "Hey, if you run into a bear," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm from Buffalo. You don't have to tell me about bear." I'm like, "You just play dead," and they're like, "No, no, no.
No.
You gotta let the bear attack you first, and then play dead. If you play dead right off the jump,
right. It's like at least it looks like a hand, some fingers at least,
Right.
and then play dead.
sample, give them the gimpest digit that you have."
Yeah, well, you don't need a pinky, right? Unless you're
Right.
Italian, right? So
And so I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what are the chances that I could be mauled by a bear? As I reach into my pocket and pull in my beef jerky that is sockeyed salmon flavored,
Just baiting them in.
you can
I'm
smell
like,
it.
what the hell am I doing? Really kind of, but as a right wing conservative, I was one of those guys that when I heard that Obama changed the name of Mount McKinley to Denali, I was like, oh, that Obama, that son of a bitch, constantly, messing around. And then I did the research on like how outrageous it was that we named Mount McKinley
After
McKinley.
McKinley.
When he never
You're
ever
fucking racist.
he never,
Jesus Christ.
the other part of it, which I found fascinating, was that he never ever had step foot in Alaska, and it he had nothing to do. He basically wanted the gold standard. Ran for president, and Alaska had a lot of gold, and so they're like, let's name it after McKinley. So then McKinley dies, and then like every year Alaska's like, hey, can we go back to naming it Denali? And the Ohio contingent's like, hell no. That's our guy.
Wow, weird. So it's not as bad as it looks, I guess.
No, it's not. I mean, Obama was actually the will of the Alaska people have been screaming to call it Denali for
So that's
literally 150 years.
By
so.
the way,
yeah,
David,
well-
I just want to point out that this is why I love you, man, because I can't stand, you know me, I'm in the middle of everything, And
Right.
I can't stand how people will crap on either the left or the right, and my side can do no wrong, and your side sucks. But you right there, you know how it would be like pulling teeth to any right wing Republican person like yourself to say, "Oh no, that was cool. That was a cool thing that he did. I was wrong." I've never. Have you, Chad? I
No.
don't think I've ever heard that from.
I'm.
So
I
I
don't
really
pick
appreciate
sides.
that.
I try to stay out. I mean, I look at left and right. I look at it like this: they're all fucking criminals. They pay them to fucking rule us. And my biggest example is this: name one foot Republican, name the other foot Democrat. Now shoot the one you don't like, because in the end, it's gonna fucking hurt you, regardless of which one you pick.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it's really
it sucks.
it's really hard. It's really hard to you could throw a dart in a session of Congress and find someone that it was to me it was the funniest thing in the world to show how unlucky Trump is. Hillary Clinton has the father of a mass murderer
Yeah.
in the background of her speech, and just as Trump is about to use that, he has a convicted pedophile in the back of like as he's about to be like, "Don't you do any vetting, Hillary?" How dare you elect a mass murderer, his son, in your crowd? And there's the guy that was like banging, congressional.
He found it weird that he kept pointing kids that he could go kiss.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, that one over there. Hey, Donnie, come here.
Kid with the freckles is a hottie.
Oh, I'm telling you.
I tell you what, right now, the best political correspondence I watch, and the one I really only pay attention to, is fucking John Oliver.
Yeah, I like him.
Because he shits on everybody. He don't care. He's kind of like Jon Stewart. I mean, the last week tonight is the Daily Show that says fuck a lot more.
Yeah. Well, it's more left leaning than I like, but I also like that every once in a while there's a dusting of what the fuck are you lefties doing? What this is the things we want, but seriously, what did you think was going to happen? Because they do ridiculous things, and I appreciate that, which is why I pointed it out, David, that all we want, it's, as far as I've noticed, we all want to make our country better. And I don't care who it is, man. I don't care if you're smart enough to contribute to our country and to make it better. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what God you pray to. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Let's make it better. Let's work together because we're one nation. And it is stupid to have sides. Can we just
that to me is the whole irony of the Colin Kaepernick scandal, where he, the guy doesn't want to stand up during the national anthem, and
right.
for how many months, going on a year now, all we've heard is the Black Lives Matter movement is full of people who hate America. And then a guy's like, "Why didn't you stand up for the national anthem?" He's like, "I hate America.
I hate America."
They're like, "That's outrageous."
And get the fuck out.
He should be shot. It's like, wait a minute, you've been saying that for a year. You're not shocked when I mean, if this is to me, it takes a ton of courage, because there are a great many people that agree with what Colin Kaepernick is saying, but don't have the balls to come out and actually say, "I'm not going to stand up."
Right.
So to me, I have a tremendous amount of respect for someone who says something that knows that they're going to get pounded.
Right.
But the
And
thing
does
is,
it anyway.
That's our
he
right.
He said it, but the thing is, he's saying, and he also, there's a little further on that little, I guess, interview he did. He said, the white people are oppressing the blacks and everything. And then it shows a picture of him and his parents. They're white.
I know, I saw that. I was going to point that out. His two white parents.
Yeah, and they oppressed you. Okay, you're making millions of dollars a year and you're being oppressed by the white man. Gotcha,
Yeah.
Kaepernick. Okay,
We're
stuff
waiting-
it.
I wonder. I mean, he's definitely light-skinned, but both parents are Caucasians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's adopted.
Oh, well,
Hey,
yeah.
I'll
We
look that up
saw
real
that
quick.
recently in the Olympics when one of the girls was adopted, one of the gymnasts, and people came across and said, does she count as an African American if she's raised by white people? I'm like,
Oh,
are we at that stage yet where we're just kind of
Can I
who the hell? I was talking to someone who was saying that that race has become such a huge part of sports and a huge part of our culture, and it's the post-Obama world that we live in. But they were saying, could you imagine everyone's talking about black people, and when the black people win the gold medal, it's about black Americans. And could you imagine if white people had their own Olympics? I'm like, we do. It's called the Winter Games. Has anyone seen it?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
What have you
Yeah.
ever? What have you ever seen a black person, outside of the occasional, bobsled
To make the
competition?
bobsled team.
Right.
Yeah, I have not
Kaepernick
seen a
is
black
adopted.
person in the Winter Games. So
Yeah. No kidding. I find that fascinating. I I have run into this in my geek world. There's this Stephen King uh, book that's being made into a movie. It's called The Gunslinger, The Dark Tower, and the main character is a white guy that's supposed to look like Clint Eastwood, right? And they picked Idris Elba to play him, and everybody's losing their shit. And it's like I belong in this page on Facebook, and I love it. I love watching people go nuts. It's my favorite thing, and everybody's going nuts about it from both sides. And I have, which I don't understand. You can't have an opinion as to, hey, this is the character, and his color, his race actually has
A lot to do with it.
a lot to do with the storyline, and that's so you're basically changing the storyline. That's what I'm not upset. I'm concerned about it, but it's also, to me, as a minority myself, it's so
Dude,
clearly.
you're fucking white. Shut up.
But I'm a little brown. Okay, I'm brownish.
You
So
sound brownish.
so to this is how I put it. It's like if they would have made Roland a Puerto Rican guy, I would have been pissed. And I don't
Right.
care. You don't have to pander to me. I find that more offensive than anything else. Just make him how he's supposed to be. And who gives a shit? And I can do that without, and it's not a racist thing. It's just a point of view, and it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it wrong. But
Well,
it
it's how the
doesn't make
character
me
was
a
created.
racist.
It's how
Right.
the character was envisioned. Like in the new Netflix series coming out, Iron Fist,
Right.
part of the Defenders. They were bitching about it. Danny Rand is a privileged white boy that basically learns the ways of the Iron Fist, the mystical powers of Iron Fist. There were groups out there saying he should be Asian because he knows kung fu. That's not the
Wow.
character, though. That's not the character.
Yeah.
The character is a privileged white boy that basically learns that he has his privileged life and now he has to do something with it. And he goes in and basically becomes a superhero because of this mystical power. And everyone's like, he needs to be Asian. He needs to be Asian. That's just ruining the story. And I'm like, no, making him Asian would ruin the story because that's not how the character was envisioned.
You know, I know. I've been kidding with this around, but imagine this. I have a friend that they might be making a movie of him because he's an awesome staff sergeant from the war in Iraq, and David Bellavia, and he's going to be played by Will Smith. You know what I mean? Could you imagine that? It's like, no, you know what? African Americans would love that if the character of this, but he's not, is the thing, right? David.
Well, not for nothing, but all the guys that are producing our film are actually working on Dark Tower right now.
Oh,
And
really?
Oh, shit.
and they're filming it in South Africa, and I guess they've had like some really close quarter, situations with some snakes. It's like they're filming it in a really rough area, and it's wildlife has been really crazy on
Yeah.
that shoot. But I'm looking at that whole controversy of Birth of a Nation. It's
Oh,
a,
yeah.
it's
Oh,
a,
yeah.
a film about Nat Turner, and you've got a guy who has a history of just violence with women, and his behavior when he was a young man was pretty repugnant. But to me, it's like, well, he shouldn't be nominated for an Oscar.
Allegedly, though, right?
Allegedly,
Yeah.
allegedly, but he should be nominated for an Oscar for what he did when he was 18. And I'm just kind of like, wait a minute. I mean, the film, the Oscars aren't Lifetime Achievement Awards based on
No.
behavior. I mean, if it's a good movie, it's a good movie. If it's
Right. That's so. I know.
so, what's the problem here?
Yeah. I know. I know. Everything's so.
Everything's so racially driven anymore. It's fucking pissing me
Well,
off.
it's not even racially. Everything is to aim to not offend anyone.
Offend
Unless you're
everybody. My theory.
right, exactly. That's how I am. Or unless you're white, then it doesn't matter. We can offend you all we want because it doesn't matter. I find that that's just defeats the purpose. I'm pro-human. I'm pro just be nice to everybody. That's why I hate everyone equally. So
Well, that's like this whole Black Lives Matter shit. I'm like, you know what? It's lives matter. Why has it got to be Black lives? Why are they more
well,
important than white? Are they more important than the Asian?
I can see their point though. I can see what that is.
Yeah, but that movement's
yeah,
gotten militant lately.
right. But yeah, that
Over the
happens with
top.
everything. That happens with everything. Yeah. I don't know. It's the thing. I can see where you're coming from, but I can see where they're coming from. That is an issue. Um, so it's an issue with violence against cops. And that's the other thing. Being a cop is just an impossible job.
You're never
I
gonna
don't,
win.
yeah. Are you still with us, David?
I am, and I
Okay.
agree with everything.
Sorry. I'm afraid we might drop out. And by the way, if you can hold your mic just slightly away from your mouth, we're peeking over here a little bit, but that's
I
cool.
apologize. I ingested
No.
it 5 minutes ago. I apologize.
It sounds like it too. But yeah, I was thinking about it that it's just such an impossible job to run and have to deal with people at their probably the worst day of their lives, or at least
Oh, completely.
a very worst time of their day at the least, and you just get no respect. And everybody has this, everybody has a chip on their shoulder because now our society has made us believe that we're all victims, and it's just such a weird thing. I don't know. So I mean, I can see both sides. I can see why black people might be upset about it because I'm not black, but I am Puerto Rican, and I know what it is to be picked on for who you are and where you live. I can't even tell you when I lived in the West Side in Buffalo how many times I got stopped and searched, take my pants off so they can look everywhere, and I didn't know. I wasn't aware that was not right or legal for them to do so. I just say, hey, that's what it is, and it didn't even oh, well, it bothered me, but it didn't even, how do you say, register. I'm like, okay, that's life. That's where
how it
we
is.
are. That's how it is. They're 1,000 times worse in Puerto Rico, where I came from, how they treat people. So I went on, but I never saw it for what it was. But again, these are people that are trying to, I wasn't doing, I wasn't helping the elderly or anything. I was just copping weed or whatever, and I don't want to be bothered. And again, I was doing something illegal. They were doing their job, and that's what it is. So I don't know.
Would you say though that the kind of like the litmus test for racism though, is sort of when you go to a predominantly white area, the way you're treated, like compared to how you were treated on the west side of Buffalo, which, if case people don't know, there's a very large Hispanic population there.
Right.
How would you compare that to the way you're treated when you lived in a, like, for example, white suburbia?
Yeah, that's the thing. But I have like Chad pointed out, I have a unique perspective. I look sort of white. I am 6'2", and
On a good day.
not dark. I have green eyes, and I don't look Hispanic. So I'm like this weird. That's not the first thing they think of when they meet me, and they're like, "Oh, he's Puerto Rican." But I've never, only a handful of times have I met with what I could call racist. I could maybe 2, 3 times. I had more of it in Spain in 5 days that I was there than I did in my whole 30 years that I've been in the United States. That's the difference. But people don't see that. But again, it's a weird, like I said, I'm in a weird position. I don't know if it would have been different if I was short and dark.
You can
And,
float between the two, really,
right. Yeah, people don't.
until
Yeah,
you talk.
until I open my mouth. Yeah.
Well, and then they hear the accent.
Yeah, but yeah, they can't place it because I also don't have
A Puerto Rican
your
accent.
usual Puerto Rican
Yeah.
accent. Yeah, they just know there's something. It's
You sound
not
half
right.
drunk. Half
Right.
drunk, and lazy.
And I usually am. So. So,
Yes.
but yeah,
I wonder what it was like in the 50s when West Side Story came out, because that was a pretty anti-Puerto Rican propaganda
Oh,
piece.
completely.
Which is,
oh yeah. My dad, I did not till just before he died did I realize what they had gone through. They would ship people from Puerto Rico in the 50s because they were buying land there for cane use, sugar cane, and from other things, I'm not exactly sure what it was, but they would send people over to New York for a better life or whatever. Say, hey, just go over there, and they will send you there. And he says that it would be this giant plane with beach chairs that what you would sit on. It's not even like real chairs. And my dad gets there, and he's sleeping in a basement that had no heat in the middle of winter, and him and his brother had only one blanket and one bed, and they used to have to sleep on top of each other and switch who was on top because the one on top would get cold. Yeah, that's my dad, dude. And he's
That's
like,
horrible.
yeah,
Crazy.
that's what my dad met my mom in 58. They got married and they say, fuck this, we're going back to Puerto Rico, and they left. Yeah, I'm not saying that happened to everybody. That's just part of my
An
story.
example.
Right. But yeah, it's like I said, dude, I I have experienced more racism in my life in Spain, specifically for being Puerto Rican, in the 5 6 days that I was there. And the best, I don't know if I told you this, David, but we were there for, like I said, 6 days. Everybody's treating me really weird. They're total pricks, or at least that's been my experience while I was there. A lot of not very friendly people, and I think afterwards I realized that I was speaking Spanish to them, and I'm like basically a hick from the South
Yep.
to them. The Spanish version of a hick from the South or something. And the nicest thing that I heard from from a Spanish person was this. I'm talking to this lady. My girls are playing in the swimming pool. We're standing by the side of the pool, and this lady, after talking to her for about 2 hours, she tells me, "What's your accent? I've been trying to place your accent this whole time. You English?" And I'm like, "No, no, I'm Puerto Rican." And she's like, "Oh, wow. You know what?
Are you English?
You look a lot better than I imagine Puerto Rican people looking like." That's what she tells me with a big smile on her face. I'm like,
That's a backhanded compliment.
wow, you are a total cunt. Nice. And I'm like, this is my children. I'm like, these people are fucking insane. What the hell? I just didn't get it. I go to Mexico. I speak to somebody. I speak to somebody in Mexico and I speak Spanish to them. They're just so excited, and they treat me, I don't know, it's just the way it is. You get a little something out of it. You're like a little closer to them because you're speaking the language and all that stuff. Not so much in Spain.
Well, when you talk to an African American about racism, are you told that you don't have a clue what racism is because
I've
you don't have
never
their experience?
I've never been told that. Never. I'm very open about it. Nobody's ever told me, and they would be wrong. I
Now,
I
with Cuba opening up the way it has been, are we going to have sort of like that same experience for the Cubans who left early? Are they going to kind of go through what Puerto Ricans went through in the 60s and 70s, you think?
I imagine there's some similarities there. Um, I'm Yeah, it's weird. I actually know some Cuban Americans that live here, and they're very against what we're doing, which it doesn't make sense to me. Um, but they just hate Castro and anything to do with him.
I know, but think about this though. To me, it's kind of like, could you imagine if we would have went into like Selma, Alabama, in 1952 and said, "All right, you guys did a good enough job cleansing out the people we don't like, so congratulations." You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, no kidding,
you,
right?
you can't use that.
Yeah,
The cleansing that went on shouldn't be rewarded because you've been able to avoid a
right,
capture.
right,
I just
but
think that these people have to pay for what they've done for 60 years.
right,
Right.
but I think that.
And when I say these people, I mean the Puerto Ricans. No, I'm
Oh, I'm talking about brown people. We get that
like,
right. What do you mean, you people? um, what do you mean, you people? The It's a weird thing. I was in Cuba in 2003. Actually, I was talking about it this morning. We went for um, a mission trip from our church, and it was one of the it completely changed my view of things. That trip, they're beautiful, beautiful people, and it's like almost exactly like Puerto Rico, but only if Puerto Rico had stopped in 1958 or whatever. Um, it like I said, beautiful people. I met with a pastor there that he could have been my dad's twin brother, uh, in many different ways, and I loved it. And when we went, we found out when we were there that George Bush was president at the time, obviously, and there was a something passed in the Senate, I believe, that they were going to lift the embargo. They were talking about it, and it actually made it to the Senate. I believe that's what it was. And I think later on, George Bush killed it. I believe. I may be wrong, but this is how I remember it. Um, and we were all excited. We know we're in Cuba, and this just happened. And that very guy that looks like my dad, I go to him. It's like, is this exciting for you that that the embargo might be lifted? And he's like, that's great, but we don't have embargo with the rest of the world. And he's like,
Right.
when you lift the embargo between me and my government, then I'll be excited. But that means nothing to me. And it was a very sobering statement, and that made me look at things different. It's just their government's messed up, but we can't influence the government if we're not talking to them. That's
See,
that's where I see it.
I think that what you said is to me, it's kind of a point that, you know, because of Iraq and because of Afghanistan, we've kind of embraced the idea that nation building is just horrible and that we should never do it, or is it that we just have picked the wrong nations to try to rebuild?
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's the wrong nations.
Well,
yeah, I mean, there are nations that could actually use regime change and could actually benefit the people and benefit us. And I think we should
and
start
Cuba
in
as
our own
well.
hemisphere.
Yep, I believe so. It's the I almost said the East Coast, the that part of the world in Afghanistan, whatever. It's
Middle East.
Middle East. It's so different
Well, that's the
than
problem.
us, and they've never had the Enlightenment or whatever it's called. It's just they're like in Middle Ages still. And
Well, it's not even that. It's the fact that they're so diametrically different than us. They're opposite spectrum. So you're going in you're trying to do a whole culture change, regime change, government, all this shit,
Yeah.
and that's when like, no, if you want to try nation building and try doing something like that, you're gonna have to do it with a country closer to what
That's what
you
David was
already
saying, yeah.
have.
Which
So
we can with
yeah,
Cuba and whatnot, yeah. And wouldn't it behoove us to, like Mexico? They're right there.
to just
Why
make it the 51st state.
wouldn't it make it better for us if
They're-
I don't know how that
narco-
is. I
The
don't know.
narco state has made it almost impossible.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, very very
But
true.
just
That's
think
scary,
about
man.
think about Puerto Rico's debt. I mean, that's like 5 tanks to us.
Right. I know. And I wish I knew more about it, but the way I see it, it reminds me of the whole Greece thing. It's like you did this to yourself. It's like people complaining about. It's like, oh my God, I lost my house because of loans or whatever. It's like, well, you're not stupid. You're like you either get a loan that you can pay or you get a
Right.
loan you can't pay. Nobody suckered you. You know what I mean? You decided to take this loan, and you know how much you make. How did you think you were gonna? So to me, I'm in that same position. I mean, obviously, I feel for Puerto Rico and Greece and all these countries that are in trouble, and I wish um, something was done. But also, you need to reconcile with the fact that you screwed yourself, and we're not just gonna throw money at you so you can do it again. So you need to fix whatever it is. And I'm telling you, dude, I've gone there, and infrastructure there, you think we have it bad here. And it's not a third world country. This is basically it's a place where it could easily be our 51st state. And I've told Chad this, but this is a perfect example of how things work in Puerto Rico. We lose power and water for no reason whatsoever. and you ask somebody, it's like, hey, here the PUD, you're on the phone with them in 5 minutes. You already know what happened and when it's gonna get fixed. And in Puerto Rico, you're like, okay, we lost power. What? Who do you call? What happened? And they're like, I don't know. So when's
Not
it
my
gonna
job.
when's it gonna get? Yeah, exactly. When's it gonna get fixed? I don't know. It'll come back when it comes back. I'm like, well, okay, that doesn't work for me. I have, and it'll happen for days. Nobody knows why. And I went to Puerto Rico in '05. There was this geyser of water shooting up from the middle of the street as I was going to my sister's house. I was there for 6 weeks. On my way out, 6 weeks later, took the same route to go to the airport. Same geyser, shooting,
Still not
wasting
fixed.
millions of gallons of water. That's insane to me. Like, and nobody, everybody's like, yeah, that's somebody's job, and it's not mine. So what am I gonna do? And that mentality, it's infuriating, and yeah, I can't stand that crap.
Well, you just described Newport Beach during the drought.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know how that happens. I don't know. It's just no way, no way in hell that I'm gonna. Well, the thing was that we were thinking of um, moving there, maybe getting a vacation house, and after those 6 weeks, we're like, hell no, we're not
No.
doing this. And they'll break into your house as a sport, and steal all your stuff. As Chad knows, we have a home in Montana that we
Yep.
go to. We have some land there, and it sits there. Well, now somebody will rob it. Watch. So, but it sits there. It sits there empty. I have it all set up. We have beds, TVs, everything, and we love. It's 7.5 hours from our house. We drive 7.5 hours, and we're home. We don't have to do anything. All we have to do is go shopping, and we're at our house. But it sits there. I don't have any security. There's nothing. You could walk into my house right now.
Doors unlocked 90% of the time.
Yep. And well, they're locked. Stacy locks them, and they all check it. We have people. I know the cops, and I have a pastor that lives in one side of my house, and I have a uh, cool guy that lives next door to my house, and they watch. But seriously, anybody could break in there. They couldn't do anything, but nobody does. That's been there for 5 years. I would have bought a house in Puerto Rico. By the time I go to the store
You weren't
to
even
go
broke
buy,
into.
somebody will break into and stole all my shit.
Your
Yeah.
house is up on blocks. Fuck.
Uh,
How do they do
yeah.
it? I don't know. They're fast though.
Oh, that's fast as shit, man. If they freaking apply that to something else, holy crap, what we couldn't accomplish.
Couldn't get that country straightened out in a heartbeat. They fucking
Oh,
focused on it.
let me tell you what, man. It's beautiful. We're going there in December. We're actually going to be there for Christmas.
Oh shit.
I miss the food, man. There's nothing like it. Did
You
you
can't
get,
get that up here.
well, David has better access to it than I do. Did you go to Niagara Cafe at all while you're over there?
Oh, you're talking about in Buffalo?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Niagara Street is that's yeah. I mean, quarter
So,
chicken, half
so
chicken.
you do know that I'm related to the people that own Niagara Cafe there, right?
That I ran. My brother has told me
Okay.
that
Right.
that place is busy,
Yep.
like all the time,
Yep.
and
Good stuff,
it's
man.
incredible.
Yeah.
And the clientele is all
where we
all cash too, which is kind of
Yeah, I love it. So they are my ex-wife's family, and they're just great people. I actually work for them, so whenever I eat there, I bust my own table. I go bring my stuff up, put it away, go in the kitchen, say hi to the cook and stuff, and it's just a great community there, and I am amazed at how Buffalo looks these days. I was actually literally in shock. I took my friend Daryl, who you met when we went to your party. I took him to all through the west side. We went to LaSalle Park. We went up and down. I went by the apartment, almost every apartment I've lived in Buffalo, and I kid you not, I told Daryl, hey, I just want to tell you, a lot of Buffalo kind of a shithole, okay? And but I was raised here and I love it. I love the food. I love the people. This is my place. So took one day just driving around, and like hours into it, Daryl looks at me. He's like, "You know what, buddy? I'm still waiting to see this shithole that you were talking about because I don't see it." And I'm like, "I know. I don't know what happened. It's just looking really good, man. I don't know. Is that a conscious effort that you've heard, David, to make things
We
better?"
we had a meeting right after you left.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, he's gone. Could we please get back
Go
to
back
the
to
shit?
normal.
Yeah. Where's the heroin?
the buildup of the waterfront was a huge,
Oh,
part of
really?
that's what really it bled out to everywhere. Look at Cleveland and Pittsburgh; it's the same thing, really.
Oh, really?
Fucking Detroit.
Well, it's just 40 years behind everyone else.
Yeah.
I mean,
Detroit's a
compare it
shithole too.
compare that to Seattle, and we're a third world country.
Yeah, true, true. Man, I gotta tell you, and I have a friend of, actually, Chad's cousin is moving over here to Seattle. Um, he got a job, he possibly get a job here, and cost of living here is just amazingly expensive. But it's a great place to live in, man.
But relatively speaking to where you're from, Montana, I know friends of mine that one person had a job over here making $32.50 an hour. It's a union job. The same job in Montana was $26.50 or $16.50 an hour,
Oh yeah,
and they were making top dollar. It's all about where you're from. So I mean, yeah, it's more expensive over here, but you make more.
that is true. That is true.
So
And-
it evens out.
Well, also, yeah, I know. I was a, believe it or not, substitute teacher there, short order cook, did all
English
that, and I
teacher?
make Spanish and math, which I don't know. It was great. Um, but they, what was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Oh, I was making $10 to $11 an hour, and it was with that you can make a living there. But then again, you got hunting. Everybody hunts, so you don't have to worry about buying meat because you can get the best meat, healthiest meat you can possibly get. Freaking grouse, elk, deer, bear.
It's all in your
Turkey.
backyard.
It's all in your backyard. It's all literally in your backyard, and there's you can grow your own stuff. You got water right there, which is why it's in my zombie apocalypse plan. It's I'm heading
Head
wherever.
to the ranch.
Yeah, I'm like, actually, step number 2 is head east. Step 2, head to wherever Daryl is.
Oh yeah,
That's in my zombie apocalypse.
which is going to be the ranch.
Yeah, so go to the ranch.
Shit,
Go,
yeah.
go towards Daryl.
Exactly.
Is marijuana legal in Montana?
No.
It is
No.
medical. It
Yeah,
is.
it's not like Washington, Colorado, though. Recreational. It's all
right.
only medical.
Yeah, David, if you saw this, it's crazy. Here, you go down the street and they're like, it's like a Walmart. You just walk in there and there's just,
What flavor are you looking for?
yeah, it's pretty wild.
No one's been murdered yet. It hasn't reefer
No,
meth.
of course not. There's nobody getting raped by crazy, marijuana smokers. It's so dumb. And
It's very similar to the prohibition stuff that you read in the 20s. It's the same.
Exactly.
absolutely. Hello? Hey, man. Did we lose you?
Oh,
Yeah, we lost him. But yeah, dude, that whole prohibition stuff is basically what's happening here. And yeah, I think he's calling back.
I mean, I look at it like this, just like alcohol. You limit it, people are going to want it more. If you made it readily available and people can do it whenever, it's not going to become a big thing.
Yeah.
People just do it when they can or whatever.
I don't know why people don't understand or refuse to understand that, and I think that it's been so ingrained, and we've been fed this bullshit narrative that and it's all the freaking baby boomers and all these old fucking dinosaur people that have these way of thinking, which, by the way, is probably my number one biggest fear is to become that I'm gonna be an older person that can't change their mind, or can accept when you're presented with a different view, and so do like David at the beginning of the podcast, that he's like, you know what, I had this thought about
Right.
Matt McKinley. Hey, you know what, I was wrong, and this guy was right, I was wrong, and to admit that, and it's I think probably one of the best habits you can get into is to be humble enough to admit when you're wrong.
Oh yeah,
And
completely.
yeah, and I've met so many people that are like, nope, it's
Will not admit to it.
nope, this is evil or whatever, and I know, and they don't. It doesn't matter how much you tell them, they're gonna believe what they believe, and I'm terrified of that. That I'm gonna be that old guy,
I don't see either of us being like that.
right? I don't. God, I hope not. I think
Well,
if you're
I
conscious
don't.
of it,
I don't even smoke pot. It's not fun. I'm not saying I haven't. I'm in high school. I did and everything, but it was not for me. It's not. Doesn't do anything for me, except put me to sleep. And I've been saying from day one that it shouldn't be illegal. There's no processing to it. I mean, if you call snipping it and letting it dry out a process, then yes, there's a process to it. But you don't have to cut it with anything else, and it doesn't have to sit there and ferment and do this and do that or do whatever. It's an all natural drug.
man.
I don't think it should be illegal at all.
But compared to cigarettes or alcohol or any of the other things, or NyQuil,
Yeah.
I mean, you can readily go to. I can go to a building where they sell me a bottle of poison that if I drank it, I would die. If I drink a whole bottle of vodka, I would fucking drop dead. I
Right.
could do that, and I have the right. And there's people that advocate for that, right?
Right.
And just like you, I don't. I used to. I used to be a huge pothead until I was 30 years old, and I don't because it made me lazy, and I don't do anymore. It doesn't fit in my current situation.
Right.
But
You got shit to do.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But man, if there's so many, I was fortunate enough to not get in trouble. All
Right.
those times that I was talking about earlier about in Buffalo, I could have easily been busted, had a felony charge or something. It would have screwed my life up for
Right.
what? For something that it's now legal.
Well, and
That
it's
doesn't even make any. You
the
know what I
fact
mean?
of it's a renewable source too. It's hemp. You can get all the
Yeah, there's
you can make so much shit out of that, and they just basically shut it down, saying it's just as bad as cocaine or heroin. And I'm like, no, it's
yeah.
not. Worst thing you're gonna do when you're stoned is you're gonna get an extra 2 or 3 pumps of cheese and chili on your fucking nachos from 7-Eleven. That's the most you're gonna
That's,
do.
that's the worst.
That's the worst that you're gonna do. Name a violent crime of someone did when they were high,
Yeah.
when they were stoned. You don't,
Yeah.
because you're not. It's not. It doesn't do that to you. It mellows people out. It just it's cool.
Yeah, I know.
So-
It's not. It's just people have and the weird thing is that to some people, if you start talking about it and try to defend it, then people look at you. Oh, you're just that freak.
Mhm.
You're just some degenerate or whatever. And so you can, and people don't. They
I
rather
tell them,
not.
thank you. I know I am. Appreciate you noticing, asshole.
So hey, Mr. Robot. So I hadn't heard you. I've been listening to Bad Flicks, and
Yeah.
you guys have not said anything about Mr. Robot.
I'm the only one watching it.
Well, you can try to get these dumb shits to watch it too.
Oh, dude, that's like pulling teeth.
Oh,
No, I just watched
God.
the newest episode, the one that aired last Wednesday, this
Oh,
morning.
really?
Yeah.
I'm in episode 9 of the first season. Dude, we started watching it yesterday.
Oh, it's that good.
Oh man, it is. And we finished episode 9, and we said, okay, this is the last episode. We've been watching this all day. We really need to get to bed. And as the episode ended, we're like, what
What the
the fuck? Ah, crap. I'm like, oh crap. We said we were gonna turn it off, but dude, and that's all I thought about since that moment until today, right now. and I'm hoping to go watch some more at some point. So how deep into the second season are they?
Episode 8.
Oh, sweet,
8.
sweet.
But you're gonna have to find. I don't know what USA does, but like with sci-fi, I powered through Dark Matter, that sci-fi show that was on right before Killjoys,
Right.
and I watched season 1. It's on Netflix, and so I powered through that, and I went to watch, season 2 just started. They're like, I think 7 episodes in, and I go to the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm gonna watch it online. Yeah, it starts on episode 3.
Yeah, that's what I.
Oh, you assholes! You're bumping the earlier episodes. That's bullshit.
That's the Hulu.
That's the Hulu move.
Which is so dumb, so dumb.
But eventually, it's all going to end up on Netflix, anyways, because that's where season 1. That's where I watched it. So I'm just now waiting on season 2 to pop up, which should be a couple months.
Yeah, you could do it on Amazon, but then you have to pay for each episode.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so that's what
you can do that through Xbox too.
Oh,
But
really?
you can buy a pass. It's like 25.
Yeah, season
bucks.
pass. Yeah.
I don't know if it's just for that channel, or if it's for all of them. I don't know.
Right.
But I'm not paying $25 to watch 2 fucking episodes.
True.
No, I'll wait for Netflix. Thank you.
Yeah,
$10 a month.
I got into Silicon Valley.
Oh yeah,
and
I watched that
caught
from
up-
the beginning, dude.
I believe I'm caught up with it. Great little show. And Veep. They said
I never got into it. I tried.
I love her, the chick from Seinfeld, and
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
lady, yeah, and the guy from Buster from Arrested Development.
Oh yeah.
I can watch that guy just walking around in a room, and I'll sit there and watch him. He's just so funny. This stuff. Anyway, I like it. I haven't actually watched it in the last couple of months, but we were flicking through our choices yesterday, and finally we actually saw this, that Mr. Robot was available, and we're like, I've always wanted to watch this. It seems interesting. It was completely not what I thought it was from
Right.
the beginning, and like I said, it is a really, really good show. I can't believe it's not hyped more, because you know what I mean. It's kind of on the periphery.
Right.
I've heard about it, but nobody's. Anyway, it's just a great show, and obviously Stranger Things. How far into it are you?
5. I'm watching it with
What-
Noah, so
What do you
I'm
think?
I like it.
Uh,
It's kind of nostalgic. I mean, it's got a real 80s feel to it. So I'm just waiting. Me and Noah are watching that together, so we're stuck on 5 until he gets his ass back here so we can finish watching it, which I think we're going to be doing tonight and tomorrow.
right.
And Voltron.
Voltron. I haven't watched that.
Oh, it's on Netflix, dude. It's the redrawing. Oh, dude, it's awesome.
Is it?
Yes.
I've been wanting to. Awesome. I have
Watch
to do
it.
that. Yeah, I watched Stranger Things, and I had my daughters watch it because I liked it. Again, it's not amazing. It's not like
No.
it's going to change your
It's not
life.
going to change the world.
But it is really, it's like, it was so, like you said, nostalgic to me. It's like you came home from school, put your backpack down, and you were going to watch He-Man, but you flicked one channel over and there's this show. And it's like one of those things that I remember doing in the 80s and watching an 80s show, but that is good. It's like you
Right.
watch an 80s show now and you see, oh my, this is just crap. And it's like watching an 80s show from then that was actually good and a good story. And I love all the no-name actors that they have.
Right.
That only Matthew Modine and
Winona
Winona
Ryder.
Ryder are the only known people there. And Matthew Modine, you can't even, he looks like he's 90.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't even look like him.
Holy crap. So anyway, I was hoping that you'd be watching that because
Oh, yeah.
I really liked it. I really enjoyed the show. Like you said, it's just so anyway, I had my girls watch it because I thought, oh, I love this, but I wonder if it's strictly because of the nostalgic feel of it to me. So
Right.
will it appeal to somebody else? And Gracie watched it and she loved it. She absolutely loved it. So it's a great show to watch. So
Have you watched Killjoys at all?
nope,
sci-fi show on Sci-Fi Channel. It actually has production value, just like Dark Matter. It's not like a fucking Sharknado bullshit. Killjoys is badass. I've watched that
Right.
from season 1 last year, on season 2 now, and it's actually pretty decent.
Right on.
Should probably check that out.
Yeah, I
Just saying.
definitely will. I have a bunch of things on my. I've been looking into some documentaries. There's lo and behold, something is another. Oh, what is this guy's name? Va- he's the German movie maker.
Boz Lerman.
No, Warner
Oh,
Herzog.
Werner
Werner
Werner Herzog.
Yeah, his new documentary, which is out on theater, so I couldn't watch it, so I started watching some other of his stuff, and also started watching Deep Web, which is about a similar.
Deep Web. That's the series that was on Showtime, isn't it?
No, yes, but it was a documentary narrated by Keanu Reeves and directed by the other guy from Bill and Ted.
Yeah,
So
it's Alice Winters. He's big documentary,
yeah, he's
big documentary guy.
which is kind of
That's all he does now.
Yeah, and it's really really well done, and I'm liking it. So I've been going through some documentaries and see what's good out there, and so that's what I've been doing. How was your summer?
Oh shit, dude, I didn't have a summer. I worked
No,
but
you
nonstop. Like,
changed jobs recently, no?
oh yeah, well, union job. So you're on job till that job's over, then you go and get another one.
Oh, I see.
So I was on one job for 2.5 months, working
Doing what?
10-hour days, like ceiling panels and shit like that. And then in this last job we were resurfacing the outside of Central Washington University branch campus out in Stillicum.
Right.
And it
Nice.
was doing 10, 12-hour days there, 6 days a week.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I wasn't in the mood to do shit.
Yeah.
And then next week I got school, so I don't got to go into work.
Yeah, I
Yay.
hear you.
Fuck.
I know. I have the girls are going back, and I had to go clothes shopping yesterday with them and stuff, and that was fun.
Fuck, how'd you get saddled with that shit?
Long story, but it was cool actually. It wasn't bad. But yeah, we're just getting ready for that. They're sophomores now. One of my girls actually was able to switch her schedule, so she doesn't have to go in till like 10.
What?
Yep.
How they do that
So,
shit?
It's also a long story, but she was able to switch it around and do that. And so she's excited about it. And they're both starting, hopefully, next year they'll start doing Running Start. For people that don't know, you can actually take college courses
Yep.
through high school, and you can, in theory, you could come out with an AA associate's degree when you graduate high school.
You get credit for both college
Yeah.
and high school at the same
And
time.
yeah, so you can graduate from high school and graduate with an AA degree, and just starting your bachelor's from, as opposed to having to do that. And the state pays for it. All you have to pays for books.
My friend's son just graduated high school at 16 and is starting as a freshman at UW.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
It's like, wow, that little overachiever there.
Yeah, it's something getting in there, man. It's
Yeah.
very competitive. Yeah, Tommy, who's been on the podcast, he did Running Start. And
Aren't you related to that guy?
Yeah, he finished high school, and he had like 6 credits shy from his AA.
6?
Yeah, about 6 credits. Yeah.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
like what, it takes a semester and he's got his AA?
Yep. So he went into it and did that pretty quick afterwards. So yeah, there's a way to do it. So the girls are looking forward to doing that, and you can, in theory, you don't even have to go into the actual high school building.
Nope.
You can actually just go to college, and Tommy will tell you it changed his life.
Really?
I mean, yeah, he's looking back and sees all his high school friends, and some of them rehab, some of them have kids, and some
Right.
of them all this other stuff, and he concentrated on school and doing this Running Start thing, and And you had to. And he was working, so he basically, that's all he does is school and work. And looking back now, he's a successful, person, and owns his own home and has a good job and all that. And that could have been all different if he would have just stayed in school.
Completely
And
different.
yeah, completely changed his life. It's a cool thing. So I'm looking forward to the girls joining that and try to, you gotta, how do you say, find that loophole.
Yeah.
And university life is very expensive to everyone, and you don't want
Find the
to.
hack.
Yeah, and that's it, man. Running start here in Washington, and some states do it too, some other states, but I don't know. But well, it looks like David's not gonna, it's not gonna call back, and it was nice that he called in, man.
Yeah.
It was great talking to
I
him.
wanted to bring this up, but I didn't get a chance to. But the guy that I want as president
Who's
can never be president because he wasn't born here.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, Elon Musk.
All right.
Come on, SpaceX, Tesla Motors, creator of PayPal.
Yeah.
Why not
I
let a
know.
smart dude like that run a fucking country? Obviously, he can run a business
Yep.
and
Successfully,
does-
not
and
not his
multiple
dad.
successful movies or businesses. It's not just like,
His dad gave
Yeah.
it to him.
and here's all your
He-
money.
Yeah.
He knows what his net worth is, not
Yep.
how he feels like when he wakes up.
Right.
Because he knows how much Trump's worth when he wakes up because he might be feeling a little better than normal.
Yeah.
But why not have a smart dude like Elon Musk fucking run it? Or who's the British dude?
Oh
Virgin
yeah.
Mobile, Virgin
yeah.
Record. Have him run the fucking country.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, they need smart people. We don't
Yeah.
need politicians anymore.
I know that's what. Yeah, it's weird. Instead of try to find the most qualified, they try to find the person that looks like me.
Well,
And I'm like, why? No, I don't want me to run the. the
I want what
country,
I'd
you
like
moron.
is to set up like fucking rules and caveats and shit like that, saying you are not going to run a negative campaign. If you do, you're going to get docked. You do, you're going to get docked. Instead of system, let's not talk about how bad the other person is. Let's talk about what you want to do. But it always turns into who can shit on each other the best.
Yeah. You know what they should do is to do away with
Richard
them-
Branson.
that-
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson. Do it. Nice pull.
Give me
Very nice.
give me a minute. I'll get it.
Your brain works.
Sir Richard
By the way,
Branson.
that's listen to you guys' podcast. I'm always impressed how you pull names. I have the hardest time doing that. But to that point of how gosh, I had a point that I was gonna
Shitting
make
on
and I
people.
forgot.
Shitting
Oh,
on campaigns.
so
Shit like that.
To do away with personal campaigns, like if Hillary Clinton has her own campaign, she has to spend $1,000 million, whatever,
Right.
and have it's done by the state,
Mm-hmm.
and you get for maybe each month you get to do something, whatever it is, have your commercial, put your point across, and that's all you get. You don't
Right.
get to do anything else, and anybody that wants to run
Can.
gets the same. So Gary Johnson gets the same amount of
fuck Gary
airtime.
Johnson. Yes.
I love that guy,
Oh yeah,
man.
he's smart.
That's what I'm
He's a
voting
conservative liberal,
for. Yep.
which is everything he says I kind of agree with. He goes, "I'm not afraid of helping out people to a point. Then you got to start helping yourself. If you're not helping yourself, no more help from us."
Yep.
And I totally understand. I
That's-
respect that, and I like that idea. Not
Yeah.
just let's keep shitting out kids and getting more money from the state because each kid's an extra $500 a month. It's like fuck that.
Yeah. I know people. It's so weird because people get offended by statements like that. Except
Drug test for fucking welfare.
I've seen it.
Oh yeah.
I have totally seen that. I've also seen. I'm myself a recipient of welfare at one point, and I was able to. I kid you not. I maybe did it for 9 months,
Right.
and I got a job making maybe $30 more a month that I made in welfare. But I'm like, that's all I wanted. Thank you very much.
Right.
That's all I needed. Thank you. And left. And I've been paying my taxes ever since.
Well,
And that's how it should be. And we
Right.
should encourage that. And he did in Arizona is where he's a
New
governor.
Mexico.
New Mexico. He did this thing where people that are on welfare can work and their welfare check goes down by a certain percentage,
Right.
and he changed the way that works so that it makes more sense and encourages people to work more instead of, and he fixed it and it actually worked, but then they deemed it unconstitutional,
Right.
and they took it out, but it worked. It wasn't unconstitutional at all to I don't know who. It didn't offend anybody, and it was actually a help that was actually working. And I listened to him in another podcast, and he just seems like a very reasonable guy, and I like that. I might disagree with some things, which is what gets me about people. That, let's say you're running,
Mm-hmm.
and I love everything you're going to do, and I
Okay.
think you're going to do great.
Thank you.
Yeah, but
Oh, here we go.
you like
Guns.
Fords.
Oh, shit.
No, Fords. Worse. You're a really big Ford guy, and I like my GMC.
Right.
So fuck you. I'm not gonna vote for you because you like Ford.
Right. It's
It doesn't
stupid
ma-
shit like that.
It doesn't matter
Oh, God.
that you can actually be smart and help the country, and and not even, let's say, with bigger points like abortion
Right.
or stuff like that. And the guy, I mean, it's all right to have. I mean, I'm completely pro-choice, but in our country we have the right to believe otherwise.
Right.
And it's okay for him to do so. And even if he were to run, we have a system in place that he can't just go in there. Okay, because that's how I believe. That's how I'm going to make it. I weigh those things. Let's say, which I'm not even sure that he's against abortion or anything. It's just an example. He can't change it because it's basically a law that he's going to have to change, and we have a system that prevents that from happening.
Well, another thing that prevents it is the fucking fact that religion is all embedded into this shit now too. When the Constitution was first written, it was the separation of church and state, which means do not bring religion into the business of the country, because that's why the forefathers that found America, they bailed from England because of the Church of England. The church was running everything, and they said we're going to you have freedom of religion over here. That's great, but it will not influence politics because we're not going to be a church-based country.
Yeah.
And what is it now? Everyone brags, well, I'm a good Christian. I'm a good Christian. No, who gives a shit? Being a good Christian still means you can be a fucking asshole.
Yep.
You're a good. I know a bunch of good Catholic. Oh yeah, they're great Catholics, touching boys and shit. Huh? Does that make them a good Catholic? It's shit like that. I mean, even Christians, like those right-wing Christians that are going up and blowing up abortion clinics that are pro-life.
Yeah.
Did you make sure people were out of the building before you blew the fucker up?
Yeah.
Don't really seem pro-life to me. Just saying.
Pro-life and pro-death penalty. Go figure that out.
I just think that religion needs to get the fuck out.
Yeah, and I feel
Out of politics. Believe what you want.
I feel the same way, and I'm a Christian, and that was one of the things that completely soured my taste when Bush was president. It was more apparent then that they, this is just what he is, and I'm going to vote for him because I'm like, wait, hold on.
It's the wrong reason.
Yeah, he's a moron. Why would you?
For one, yes.
Why would you want to? I don't care if he's Puerto Rican, looks exactly like me, and loves comic books. If he doesn't,
He doesn't have enough to do the job.
I don't want him there. I don't care.
Get the fuck out.
I'd rather have him be. I kid you not. I'd rather have a Muslim or an atheist, or I don't care, that I know is going to be a good president. That
has a good head on his shoulders. That's smart. Not someone. Basically, come on, dude. George Bush, little W. Actually, that was George Bush's third term as president, because fucking W wasn't running shit. It was Daddy pulling the strings behind and fucking.
You think?
Guys, dude, can fucking W actually form a fucking thought without any help?
Dude,
no.
I
Making up words. Strategery. We're going into Iraq. We got some strategery we're going to do. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? You're just making shit up on the fly. You're not even following the teleprompter. I mean, we should have known there was a problem right there with him. And then Trump shows up. We're like, oh, fuck, this is the next evolution of that guy.
I can't wait.
It's a fucking shit show.
Oh, my God. The first, dude, we should do a live cast watching the debate. That would be awesome, dude. And just watching, because I'm just waiting for Trump to go to Hillary Clinton. It's like, hey, what's up with your husband? You know, getting his dick sucked in the White House.
Have you talked to
what's
Monica
up?
lately?
Yeah, seriously, coming all over her, all over her dress and
Maybe
stuff.
doing shit like that too, dude.
Oh, you know it's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's
it's gonna
gonna
be
come up.
beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful. I
I
can't
just
wait.
wish Gary Johnson was there because he'd shut them all down. I mean, I like the old Jew. Out of the three, Bernie was the only one who's like only saving grace. Hillary's a crook.
Yeah.
And
And again, Bernie has stuff that I disagree with, but if you look at everything
overall,
I'm in the overall, he's probably the best choice.
the reason I liked him is that he hasn't changed his stance on his beliefs and anything since the fucking 60s.
Yep.
He stayed
Which
true
is-
to form, which you never
Well,
see in politics that much anymore.
Right. That's great up to a point, obviously, because it's good things.
You
that
got to
he's
be able
always-
to move with the times,
Right.
just with the times. But
Right.
overall, what he thought about equality and racism,
He's always
he's always
correct.
thought, boom, no,
He's doing what he's preached.
right.
So yeah, that's we'll see what happens.
But honestly, if Trump gets in office, dude,
So God only knows. What's
moving
gonna
to fucking
happen.
we got to move everyone to fucking Montana. Just fucking and on the main road coming into the fucking ranch, we're
Yeah.
barricading that fucker.
Oh, you know it.
Just
know it.
as we're heading away from the ranch, just as we get to the last fence post from Stacy's property, barricade goes up.
Right. Skip Kyle and Eric. They're
Get them
just,
on that now.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, start building
Start building
trenches.
that. We're gonna start building a wall.
Literally. Yeah.
No
totally.
shit.
Oh man. All right, dude. I gotta take off, man. I
go
got stuff
Clothes
to do.
shopping.
No, I gotta go build a fence.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Literally build a fence.
For goats. Yeah.
You a goat farmer now?
Yeah. Nice transition there, buddy.
Puerto Rican goat farmer.
Segue. Yeah, totally. Love them. Love them. So
Are they fainting goats?
no, I haven't tried.
No, get the
What
fainting
do you
goats.
do?
You make a big noise, like clap your hands right behind them and startle them. They go stiff and fall over. They're called fainting goats.
All
Look
right.
them up, dude. They're
I'm-
fucking hilarious.
I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna hang. I'm gonna hang up. I have an M80 that I'm gonna bring over there, and next podcast I'll let you know what happens.
All right.
All right, take care of
All
it.
right, later, man.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Got your happy ending. Feel the excitement build. Showdown in a ghost town. Bad guys